Hello guys, so today I'm just going to be doing a review / comparison of the new Winsor and Newton brush marker and Pro marker. And I'm actually going to be focusing more on the brush marker just because the brush marker has more changes to it than the Pro marker does. So as my older subscribers may or may not know, I started out with the Letraset Pro marker and Flex markers, and the Flex markers are significantly different to the brush markers, as you will see in a little bit. So here I have the casing for the brush markers. So it comes in very similar packaging to what it used to look like. Here is the old Letraset packaging. The only difference is that this one has these little stand things on them, while the other one does not, and this one has a handle. So they come in similar packaging, and this is the 12 set of the brush markers, and it's the primary set. So the primary set is typically the hardest to work with when you're starting out, and even if you are experienced, the primary set can be difficult to work with. So here is the Pro marker packaging. This is the 6 set, as you can see here, and it's the pastel set, and pastels are easy to work with. So I just wanted to speak about those for a minute. So now on to the actual review. So here is the Pro marker, and the Pro marker hasn't changed all that much. The only difference is that the label has changed. So here is an old Letraset Pro marker, so this is what it used to look like. So the new one has the typical standard bullet nib, and then the chisel tip. And the old one is the same way. Standard bullet, and then the chisel tip on the other end. So the main difference between the two really is, one, the label, yes, and also that the new one is color-coded while the old one is not. So in the past, I would have had to make my own endings, kind of like this, and I would have to color it in myself, but as you can see, the areas around it has faded quite a bit. So it's a good thing that they have the codes on the new ones, which is kind of handy. Also, something to note between the brush marker and the Pro marker is that the brush one, it says brush on the end, so that's kind of handy. When you have it kind of standing up like this, you know which one is which. So, onto the actual brush tips themselves on the brush marker. So, something I wanted to note was that the Flex marker is significantly different than the brush marker, as noted before. And the reason why is because the Flex marker has this type of nib. So it's not the standard brush tip that people usually imagine when they think of brush markers. The brush marker has that typical nib, as you can see there, typical brush tip. And sorry if you keep hearing my phone going off, I apologize, I should have muted it before, but it's too far away and I don't feel like going all the way over there. So here's the Flex marker nib, and before I was just testing out the nib, so as you can see here, this is the brush marker. These three are, the blue and the red. This one is not a Flex marker. So before, you can see that the Flex marker nibs, at some point, they're gonna fray a little bit, and it'll end up looking like this, like you actually use a brush to color with, and you know, sometimes that's not the most ideal thing, and that's not what most people go for. They go for more of this pointed, really sharp looking feather taper. I don't know how to describe it. So let me try that again. See, yeah, you guys see that? How it kind of doesn't evenly coat the paper. It just, I don't know, something about the old nibs. They were made of more fibrous material, so it would easily fray and smush. And by smushing, I mean like this. It's not too heavily smushed on this marker in particular, but I have other Flex markers where the tip is really smushed down, like the top part. And I believe that might be a quality problem just because maybe the nib wasn't pushed in all the way, so when you put the cap on, it smushes the top. So that maybe is a quality control problem. with the old ones. And also just because I have a few of these that I have barely touched and they have dried out on me, but I could easily revive it with some rubbing alcohol, but the fact that they dried out is another quality control problem that could be addressed, but I guess it has, because it has switched over to Winsor & Newton, and this one, as far as I can see, I don't see any problem with the lids or the caps. None of the markers look like they're smushed at the top, and they seem all fine, and none of them came dry, so I think that's fine. And the nib, you know, works like a brush nib should. So, you know, something to know also with these is that it's significantly, okay, maybe not significantly, but it's quite a bit stiffer than the Copic brush tip. Bailey J said that she found that the Copic nibs are stiffer. To me, I find that these are stiffer than the Copic nibs. The Copic nibs, they just seem kind of softer, and they're easier to, I guess, bend at the middle. But that may just be me, just because I haven't broken into these ones yet. So I guess with time, these will become more softer, but as far as I can see, this one feels a little bit more stiffer to me, so I get more control out of this. So that's pretty much it. I don't really have much more to say about these markers. I have nothing negative to say, and I don't believe that in the future I will have anything negative to say or have any complaints. The caps seem pretty sturdy. I have never had any previous Promarkers dry up on me, so I believe that these caps will keep the markers moist. And I don't see any problem with the nibs. The brush marker obviously may become softer as I use it, but I don't think it's going to fray or smush as much as the flex marker, so I believe this one will last a long time. And the Promarker, the nib is pretty stiff, and if it's the exact same nib as the old Promarker, it may get a bit soft through much use, but I don't think it's going to become that much of a problem. So I guess that's my ending note for these, and I really enjoy using the brush markers, and I will look forward to using them in the future. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this little mini comparison / review, and please enjoy the little demo or speed paint that I have planned right after this. So yeah, see you in a bit! So I decided to color the skin with Copics, and that's because I didn't receive any brush markers or Promarkers in skin tones, so I had to use my Copics for this. The brush marker set that I received was, it's mostly primary colors, and they're pretty bold and saturated, which is pretty common for marker sets, or the smaller marker sets anyway. Like Copic does it too, where like their 12 and 24 set of Copics is generally like orange, yellow, red, blue, and it's the really bright ones, like the standard primaries, and those typically aren't the easiest to work with, especially if you haven't had any coloring experience before, so I would just be wary of that when you guys are getting getting markers, any type of marker at all. Really be aware of getting like the smaller sets, because most of them come with like the typical primary colors, and those aren't really the easiest to work with because there are no pastels and there are no deep colors for you to really blend nicely. So yeah, for this, as you can see in the hair, I actually kind of had a little trouble trying to blend out the royal blue just because it's so bright and so saturated and really bold. It stands out a lot, while the violet, which I tried to blend into the magenta, it was a bit more muted, so I had a bit of trouble trying to get that to work, but in the end I think it came out okay. Let's see here. For the drawing, I wanted to make it a more shoujo looking thing, but I think it turned out a bit shonen-like. It's like a mix of both shonen and shoujo, just because the way it's drawn is a little bit shoujo, while the way it's colored with the really bright, stark, bold colors, it's more of a shonen type style. But I don't know, maybe it's just like that generic old Tokyo pop anime look. I don't know, what do you guys think? Well, that's pretty much all I have to comment about this ATC. Nothing really that special. It was kind of a spur of the moment, spontaneous little drawing. And I kind of like how it came out. It's kind of cute in its own little way, I guess. It really does remind me of like the older Tokyo Pop covers and stuff, if you guys remember those. But yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed this segment of the coloring, and the giveaway details will be up in a little bit, so hope you enjoy the rest of the video, and yeah, see you in a bit. Okay, on to the giveaway details. So I'm going to be leaving a link in the description to Rafflecopter, and I'm only going to open it for, say, a week. So by this time next week, the Rafflecopter link will be down. So next Tuesday, US time, New York time in particular. So I'm going to be giving away this 6 set of Promarkers. This is the pastel tones. And I'm giving this away just because you can never have enough pastels. And also, these are really great for bases just because, as I noted before, the Promarker inks lay down really evenly. So it's like a nice flat swatch of color. Then I'll be giving away some microns, and these are some of my favorite inking tools. It's nice and black and it's nice and smooth, so these are well known and everyone tends to use them. And just because this one doesn't come with a colorless blender, I decided to include one of my own. This is unused, and I have a bunch of extras because I always get the Promarker sets, and this is one of the old Letraset ones, so I'll be giving this away. And then I'll be giving you a line art to color. So the line art is going to be completely random. I'm just going to make it. I'm going to sketch it, I'm going to ink it, and then I'm going to send it to you. And I'll probably make a video out of it so you can see the process of me making the line art. So I'll be sending that. Then I will also be sending some samples of papers, as I always do. So I'll be sending some Strathmore mixed media paper just because this is one of my favorite papers. I use this for commissions, I use it for my watercolor and marker drawings. Then I will also be sending some samples of one of my favorite papers currently. This is the Fanboy illustration paper. I don't think you can see that just because my camera is stupid, but this is the Canson Fanboy illustration paper, and it's nice and absorbent. It's really nice for markers. I don't recommend it for watercolor, but it's really nice for markers. Then I'll also be sending some Hammermill color copy cover, which is one of my favorite all-time marker papers just because it's nice absorbent, it's smooth, and it's bright white. So yeah, good luck to everyone, and hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, have a nice day. Bye!